What's up, Facebook Live? I'm Warren Freeman here with Warren's Vlog, episode 38. Uh, well, damn. This SummerSlam that just went off the air about an hour ago was a little underwhelming, to say the very least. So I decided I'm going to put as much effort into this video as I felt that the WWE put into SummerSlam. Uh, where do I even start? Oh, man. Okay, well, let me cover the suspensions that we had this week. The three suspensions we had were Alberto Del Rio. What's up, Corey? Alberto Del Rio, Paige, and Eva were all suspended for violating the wellness policy. Um, Eva is the only one that's any significance due to her push that she was getting, if you call it that. I mean, they had a current angle for her. As for Del Rio and Paige, they didn't. Del Rio's contract is up in September, so he's probably going to ask for his release when he gets back, or maybe he'll just work his dates that he has, and he'll ask for his release. Paige is probably going to follow because they're dating. Eva, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with her. I heard that, I can't confirm because I didn't see this for myself, but I also heard that Sasha violated the wellness policy. So I don't know if these wrestlers are stupid, or if there's something in the water, or I don't know what the hell is going on. But Sasha getting suspended that's crazy. That's going to be really detrimental to any push that she would have had. So those are the suspensions this week. I didn't know whether I would do a video on the suspensions or not, but I figure if I'm doing SummerSlam here, I could just fill some time and talk about the suspensions. So let's get to SummerSlam 2016. Oh my God, this was a shit fest. Jesus. Cesaro and Sheamus didn't even get put on the fucking card. So I can't even rate it because by my own rules, I don't do pre-show matches. But Cesaro Sheamus was awesome. Um, wow, Cesaro and Sheamus was awesome. Very good match. My prediction was correct. I predicted Sheamus to go over because I figured it's Cesaro. It's more money in Cesaro chasing in the 1-7 series. So Sheamus went over, but that wasn't on the show. So I'm gonna rate these. I'm gonna try to do them in order, in the order that the matches happened tonight, if I remember the order. So the order I wrote down was I did Rusev and Roman first. But I'm going to do it in the way I wrote it. Fuck it. So, I wrote down the Six Divas tag, like, at the top of my notes because I didn't know that was going to be on the main show. Which tell me why the hell you will put two Diva matches on the show and take Cesaro and Sheamus off of the show and put that on the pre-show. Why? Especially if, I mean, I could see with Nikki Bella making her return. Why? Okay, well, maybe I just answered my own question. Okay, that's the reason why they did it. Um, Nikki Bella made her return to replace Eva, which honestly, that's the better of two evils, in my opinion. The heel team went over. Nikki pinned, I believe it was. Who did Nikki pin? It doesn't matter. She hit some sloppy version of the TKO, and Nikki got the win for that. That was a 2.2 for that match. Rusev versus Roman ended with a no contest. I gave that a 1. What up, Austin? Let me just explain the ass backwards booking of the WWE. So you have a match with Rusev and Roman on Raw, on free television, and you put Reigns over. And from what I hear, it was a pretty solid match. I have not seen this match. I mean, I do plan on going back to watch it. But from everything I've read, everything I've seen, Rusev and Roman on Raw was a pretty solid match. But that's not my issue. You give a free match that's scheduled for a pay-per-view away on free television, And then you get to the pay-per-view and we get a no contest. We get a no contest on pay-per-view. You should have put the no contest on Raw and then gave us the match that you had on Raw for the pay-per-view. So they did that ass backwards. It's basically, Rusev attacked Reigns as Reigns was getting in the ring. The bell never rang. Reigns eventually started going over on Rusev, and then Reigns would just beat the shit out of Rusev for like 5 minutes, which it seemed like it lasted a fucking hour. And Reigns beat him up. The referees got Reigns. They sent him to the back. And then Rusev is standing up with Lana, and you know the spear is coming, which they show Reigns running down the ramp instead of just keeping the camera focused on Rusev. They show Reigns running back down the ramp, so you know a spear is coming. Rusev noticeably leaps into the spear. It was a mess. So, U.S. title match got a 1 because it was a no contest. It never even happened. So actually, I don't even know why I rated that because it wasn't even a match. Sasha versus Charlotte was good. There were some noticeable botches in that match, but they more than made up for it. And them making up for it is what made that match well. The Splash Mountain counter with the Hurricane Rana was golden. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, especially from 2 women. I'm really digging on the likes, guys. But yeah, I was really surprised to see Charlotte go over. It's like you got us emotionally invested in Sasha Banks winning the title. Another match that you guys gave away for free on television. You just gave it away. Here's a title change. And you know what that was? I think, and I said this at my party for anyone that was there. I think they gave Charlotte the belt on Raw to please the fans because it was the first Monday Night Raw after the brand split. So it was like, let's just reel these guys in to get us to watch our show so we can go back to the same bullshit we've been doing for the past 8 years. So they teased us with a free title change on free television, and they get us emotionally invested in this Sasha Banks story. Then we get the SummerSlam, and then Sasha Banks jobs the belt back to Charlotte. Despite that, it was a 2.8. Miz and Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title. I gave this a 3. This was a solid match. Only problem I really had with it was the booking or the build to this match. Their build was advertised on SmackDown prior. I mean, it had been building for a while. I think Apollo Crews won a triple threat match, I think, with Baron Corbin and Kalisto to earn the opportunity. But on the SmackDown prior to SummerSlam, that Miz and Apollo Crews segment was aired during a commercial break. It wasn't even on the show. So that's, I don't know. The match was pretty much solid. I gave it a 3. Cena versus Styles. I'm not going to be here very long because this show, other than Cena and Styles, the 2 title matches, is really not much to talk about. Cena Styles was the highest rated match on the card. I thought their match it wasn't Money in the Bank. I think it was, I want to say Payback or the show before. Yeah, it was Money in the Bank because, no, Jalen. What was that show? I can't think of it right now. Battleground. Battleground was a 6-man tag. Money in the Bank was their single match. I thought that match was slightly better than the match they had tonight, but the match they had tonight was awesome. I really liked the symbolism at the end where Cena takes off his never... I already farted on my pillow tonight. Cena took the Never Give Up band off and kind of just left it in the ring. I'm not sure what that symbolized. Maybe he finally gave up. I don't know. But I really appreciated the storytelling there. The one spot that surprised me in that match was AJ Styles kicking out of the Attitude Adjustment from the top rope. I guess it really didn't surprise me because I think that was the finish to their Battleground match. But still, just seeing AJ Styles kick out of that surprised the hell out of me. Um, and I really think that AJ Styles should have just beat him with the Clash instead of going for that forearm. But I guess if they're going to really establish that forearm as his finish, then I guess that made sense. Um, so then we go to the Club versus the New Day, which I think that did follow Cena Styles, if I'm not mistaken. The Jon Stewart shit I could have done without. Other than that, the match was pretty tame. Honestly, I gave that a 1.3. I've been really harsh on this show because and the reason why I gave the tag title match a 1.3 because it was a DQ finish. I mean, I was happy to see Big E, but I was not happy to see a DQ finish, and I didn't need to see Jon Stewart in there. I could have done without that. Another tag match. This match kicked off the show. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Jericho. I gave that a 2.5. I thought that tag match was better than the tag title match. That's probably because I like Jericho and Kevin Owens and they can actually work. I mean, I'm not saying the Club and the New Day was a bad match by any means. I just think it was clustered with the Jon Stewart shit and then the DQ finish. The DQ finish is what killed that for me, personally. That's why I rated the tag title match so low. Gave it 1.3. Enzo and Cass, Jericho, KO was 2.5. I thought the wrong team won. I really think that Enzo and Cass should have went over. I don't agree with Jericho winning. I certainly don't agree with Jericho getting the fall. I mean, Jericho is in his upper 40s. He needs to be putting over talent, which he does do. Don't think I'm shitting on Jericho for not putting over talent because Jericho does put over talent. I just thought that he would continue that trend tonight, and he didn't, and it upset me a little bit. So we get to the three final matches: Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, Ambrose and Ziggler. I gave those both 3.5s. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor was a little bit more exciting than Ziggler and Ambrose, but I think Ziggler and Ambrose, the problem with that match is that the fans were just burnt out. I mean, I was tired. Everybody at my party was tired. It's just 4 fucking hours. Jeez, oh my god. That is just too long for a pay-per-view. I'm sorry. I mean, Mania gets a pass because it's Mania, but shit. Because you had the 2-hour pre-show, so 6 hours. And that's not even the worst part about these pay-per-views. Because of the brand split, now we're going to get 19 pay-per-views. 19 pay-per-views in a 12-month calendar year. I mean, it's like... I can't even... Why? Just... Oh, man. But the good news is you get to see my face 19 times a year because I'm going to review every single pay-per-view. So I guess there's your silver lining, folks. You get to see this pretty face 19 times a year. Not to mention all the other videos I do with the reviews. Which, by the way, if there's any old WWF, WWE pay-per-views you want me to review, list it in the comments below and I'll review them. But, yeah. Let's see. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor ended. That surprised me. I picked Seth to win. But I'm happy with the result. I'm not happy with the way the belt looks. The belt looks like a fucking fruit roll-up. I mean, it's all red. It's got red leather. The WWE, it's disgusting. But I guess it kind of fits Finn Balor's demeanor. Maybe they'll change the color for champion. I don't know. But yeah, that Universal title was ugly as shit. The match was great. Finn Balor went over with the coup de grace. Ambrose and Ziggler... that was a good match. Again, I just think that the fans there in attendance were just noticeably quiet and probably just tired. Because I think they were on hour 5 or hour 6 at this point of being there. And like I said, I was tired watching it. But it didn't take away from how good the match was. The match mechanically was fine. It was just kind of a out of nowhere finish. Like, Ambrose just abruptly hit his dirty deeds out of nowhere and just won. Mauro Ranallo, I know I screwed that name up, but that guy called Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins. I thought that was funny. So then we go to the main event, Brock versus Randy Orton, and honestly, the only thing that I am remotely happy about with Brock and Orton is the fact that I won a bet. That's it. So Jason, if you watch this video, you owe me lunch tomorrow at work. Other than that, I, th- I don't even know what to say about Brock and Orton. I really don't. Like, there were 7 suplexes. There was a hip toss through a table with Brock hip tossing Orton. Up to that point, the only offense Orton got was a drop kick. Then they went to the other table. Orton delivered an RKO. The table didn't sell. Neither did Brock, because Brock Lesnar. They get back in the ring. Orton hits this rope DDT, hits the RKO. Brock kicks out. Orton goes for the punt, counters to the F5. Orton kicks out, F2. Then Brock gets on top of Orton and starts pounding away, elbows him, and busts him all kind of open. And referee steps in. Brock continues to beat on him. Referee stops in. Brock continues to beat on him. Then the referee rings the bell, and then we get a TKO victory. So that's it. Everything I just said about Brock and Orton is exactly what happened. That was it. Nothing else. Oh, and Shane McMahon got F5. But that was after the match. So I gave that a 1.5. You average everything together, and you get a 2.53. Or I'm just gonna leave that at a 2.5. So Joe, you're giving it a 3 out of 10. I'm giving it a 2 out of. I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 10. So, or 2.5 out of 5. My ratings are based on 5. So, I mean, that ratio is about the same. 2.5 out of 5, 3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Last year's SummerSlam was better by far, not even close. SummerSlam 2015 was the better show. And I was actually watching that to review it, but then I started binge watching Power, and I just, yeah. But this was a disappointment. It's not, and here's the thing, it's not so much that it was 4 hours long, but here's the thing. Well, yeah, half, basically. If we were to do the ratio, it'd be half. So it's just mine's just 2.5 out of 5. Austin, yes, TakeOver by far was good, and I was gonna talk about TakeOver in this video, but the thing is, I don't want to compare the two, and it's the same thing with TakeOver Dallas and WrestleMania 32. I feel like those are two different. I'm actually glad you brought that up, Austin. For the marks that get on the internet and say, "Oh man, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn was so much better than SummerSlam," or "NXT TakeOver Dallas was so much better than WrestleMania 32. What you don't realize, and you know what, that's your opinion, and everybody on the internet is entitled to their opinion. I'm making a video that entitles me to my opinion. But here's what I need to explain to you guys. NXT and the WWE, yes, they're under the same umbrella. NXT is under WWE, but NXT and the WWE are two different products, even though NXT is under WWE. You watch an NXT show, you're going to expect NXT is a more wrestling-oriented show. So you're watching that for the wrestling. NXT is more wrestling, less storylines. WWE is the complete opposite. WWE is more storylines and less wrestling. So you can't really compare NXT TakeOver Brooklyn to SummerSlam, and you can't compare NXT Dallas to WrestleMania. There is no comparison. It's like two different products. Let me see. Here's an example of this. 50 Cent is under Eminem, right? But you can't compare 50 Cent to Eminem. Eminem's rapping style is different than 50 Cent's, even though 50 Cent is under Eminem. I don't know if that makes any sense to any music listeners out there, but that's how I compare NXT to WWE. They're two different products. So, Austin, to answer your question, yes, NXT was good for NXT standards. I'm not going to judge that on how good SummerSlam was, or vice versa. I'm not going to judge SummerSlam on how good NXT was because they're two different products. SummerSlam sucked ass. I'm just going to be blatantly honest. SummerSlam sucked a whole lot of ass. And again, that's just my opinion. Some people may have thought SummerSlam was great. But here's the thing about the 4 hours. I don't mind that it's 4 hours. But if you're going to have a 4-hour show, if you're going to have a 6-hour show, if you include the 2-hour pre-show, you better have a fucking card to back up the time that you're giving us. Okay? And SummerSlam 2015 had a card to back up that 4 hours so that it didn't feel like 4 hours. This year was a bunch of bullshit in 4 hours. And that was the problem with this event. And and also, you had Rusev and Roman Reigns go to a no contest, and then immediately following that, you have Brock and Orton go to a technical knockout or referee stoppage. It's like you can't book two finishes like that back to back. Not to mention you had a DQ finish in the tag title match. Like, oh man, this hurts my soul. Like, I feel like this is reminiscent of SummerSlam 2006, because that was a shit fest. So like 10 years later, we have another shit fest. So now I can expect SummerSlam 2026 to be a shit fest. Anyway, this was a 2.5 out of 5 for me. Some of these matches, the reason why it's high as it is because of Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, Ambrose and Ziggler. Those were both 3.5s, and of course Cena and Styles was a 4. So those 3 matches kind of helped this rating. Those 3 matches saved this show, but it didn't save me from ripping this show the fuck apart. This was a shit show. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it, and I'm going to bed. Good night.